Gronk is the exact same age as Tom Brady, given the punishment that he's taken.
I could make a case he's older in football years.
You might be right, Skip.
Because to your point, I hold in my hand, I feel like Jerry Jones here after the draft. If I could have my camera, these are the 2 full sheets I had printed for me. If I could just hold these up. These are all of his injuries. This is an injury history of Rob Gronkowski. It's it's backs, it's elbows, it's knees, it's surgery upon surgery upon surgery upon concussion, because I'm here to tell you, in all my years studying your sport, the most vulnerable player I have ever witnessed running with a football in his hand is Rob Gronkowski, because in those years in New England, when I was rooting for Brady to win a football game, I needed Gronk to stay healthy. And as soon as he would catch a pass in the open field and have 5 or 7 yards to run before contact, I'd be like, oh, no, please don't. Because he cannot make anybody miss.
No.
He just runs straight lines as hard as he can go.
Yes.
And Brady had a great quote about, he said, nobody has ever embodied the idea of, quote unquote, leaving it all out on the field like Rob has throughout his entire career. Now, that's a mouthful from Tom Brady,
right?
An ultimate competitor. He's saying he's the ultimate. He will give you every ounce.
Right.
Well, he'll give you every ounce of his well-being, because he just, if he catches one up the seam and he's got 10 yards, he's just lumbering and lumbering, and they're coming at him, and they're going to go low because you have to go low. And I'm thinking, please knee, no knee, please no knee. How many times do you see him get tackled and you're like, oh, is that the end of it?
And that was the thing, Skip, because he didn't have the shift to him and he was unwilling to run out of bounds. He was trying to get every yard he possibly could, and he had no shiftiness to make someone miss. Every once in a while, Skip, he would see the guy come in and he would stop. But more times than not, as far as the wiggle, like you see some of these tight ends have today, he didn't have that. But what he did have was he had a huge catch radius. He had a quarterback that understood where to get him the ball so he could turn and run. Skip, it was never a situation that he had to, catch the ball. He had to turn around and catch the ball and then take off. It was one fluid motion, because that's what he was. He was not a start and stop tight end because he's so big. He's 6'6", probably 2. At his prime, he probably was 260, 265. Now he's kind of slimmed down a little bit, Skip, but...
Yeah, they list him at 265.
Okay, well, so he might have been up to 270, 275.
I agree.
He's a huge man, and if you see him on the field when he had those pads on, he looked as if he was 300 pounds. He has the frame of a basketball player, Skip. He's not, he doesn't have like, you look at him, you're like, well, damn, he's big, but he's not muscular. He's not like Diesel. He's just a big man.
Yep. Okay, just for the record, and we're going to go deeper into this in a few minutes here, but Rob Gronkowski could have played in the regular season a total of 193 games. That's how many were played while he was eligible to play.
Yes.
He missed 50 of 193.
That's 3 seasons.
50 games? Our old friend Tony Gonzalez had a grand total of 272 he could have played. He played in 270. He missed 2 games out of 272 games. Rob Gronkowski missed 50 of 193. That's crazy.
It's crazy. You got to be a little lucky. You got to be a little smart.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And like Skip, that's 3 seasons. There's 16 games in a season. You said he missed 50 games. 48 games is 3 seasons.
What?
He missed 2 more games than 3 seasons. So you look at the numbers that he compiled.
I don't remember your injury history exactly.
I missed the equivalent of 1 season. I missed about 16 games in 14 years.
Okay. Well, I'd say that's pretty great.
Yeah, and so you look at the numbers that he put up. I think he has 92 touchdowns. He missed 3 seasons. So if you project that out, he'd have had more touchdowns than Gates and Gonzalez. Gates has 116, Gonzalez has 111.
Obviously, yeah. So spot. That is the essence of that on-field relationship.
Yeah.
And you know this because of your relationship with John Elway.
Yes.
He has to trust that no matter what you throw, like John has to trust that no matter what defense gets thrown at you, if there are 2 people in front of you or 3 people in front of you, you're just going to get where you're supposed to go, however you can get there on time.
Yes.
On time.
Yes.
Where he can trust, I can go, look, boom, and I can go back here to 84, and he's going to be where exactly on a dime where he's supposed to be. That's the essence of this relationship, and I believe that Tom is going to miss that relationship.
Of course.
And I believe that Tom will do his gee whiz darndest
to get him back
somewhere in October to say, hey, I just need you to come here and save me. Now let's get back to the relationship, and let's look at what happened late in the year last year. And I think this could play a part of what's happening right now. If you recall that late in the year New Orleans game at Tampa, it was a disaster. And Rob was a disaster in that game.
That was the worst game of his career.
I would say, because Tom threw him 11 balls, and he caught 2 for 23. And remember, Tom was all over him coming off remember he'd come up the field like, what?
What are you doing?
He wasn't saying it to Gronk. He was saying it to the heavens. Like, what are you doing? Right? And he kind of doghoused him the next game, which was at Carolina. He threw him 2 balls, and he caught 1 for 23 yards. And then the fateful turnaround was at the Jets when he threw him 10 balls. He got him out of the doghouse, and he caught 7 for 115, which sent one Antonio Brown right over the edge into on the sideline, saying to Brady, "Oh, you're back to throwing to your boy again."
Skip, the thing is, for me, I don't believe Tom Brady ever puts any of his receivers in the doghouse. I just think the thing is that he will, like, if you're the guy, he's gonna make sure you get your opportunities, but he's not gonna go out of the way to put the ball in harm's way. He's just not gonna throw you 12, 13 targets just for the sake of argument. And a lot of quarterbacks would do that because they don't want to piss the receiver off. They don't want to be in a situation where, man, I need my targets. I need my targets. Tom, like, I'm going to get you your targets, but the targets are going to be good targets. I'm just not throwing over there. You're covered. You're double covered. And I'm just not going to throw you the ball and says, okay, trust me. But the thing that there's a special type of relationship between a quarterback and a receiver. And I think Kyler Murray said it like, well, hell, D-Hop down there somewhere. The quarterback needs to know his guy he's where he's supposed to be. Skip, even if I'm running a route on the right side and he's looking to the left, he has to know he won. And he has to come without hesitation and fire the out route or fire the option route.
Hesitation.
And that's the type of relationship that's built over many of practice, many of meetings. It just doesn't show up on Sunday. A lot of times people are like, oh, look, that's a great on field. No, that's a great in meeting room relationship. That's a great on the practice field relationship where you talking. What are you thinking here? 12 to 14, 8 to 10. Would do it like this because I know John would always tell me, I'm like, John, okay, they're calling 12 to 14. What you thinking? He said, give me 12 to 14 in practice. I know you're going to speed it up in the game and it's going to be 10 to 12, but I just want to make sure it times up right. If you get banged up a little bit, go 8 yards because I'm going to be ready to throw the ball. The hardest thing for me, Skip, coming from receiver to tight end, is that I was getting open so quick and he wasn't ready to throw the ball. And he would say, T, what's the difference in you? Why are you getting open? I'm not ready to throw it. By the time I'm ready to throw it, the guy's caught back up to you. So you have to understand how to run the routes, when to get open. Because if you're open and he's not ready to throw the ball, Skip, what have you done?
Okay. So my point, and I think a key difference in Elway and Brady is Brady does have a psycho Tom side. I think he's not exactly a bed of roses all the time. I think especially behind closed doors, he is difficult to deal with. I think that factors in to Gronk's decision here because it's not that easy to play for him because he is incredibly demanding. Like, relentlessly.
The greater the player, the more demanding they are.
You got it.
I mean,
and so Gronk's probably going through that thought process of, because he likes to have fun. And there's times, like the New Orleans game leading into the Carolina game, it was no fun. You don't think Tom was a ball of fun?
Oh, he was sick.
Like,
I mean, hold on, bro. I threw you 11 balls. You caught 2. And then you dropped like 3 or 4, and then a couple of them you lost in the light. Oh, absolutely. That the next day was not fun. Meeting film study.
Paul cast over the team because Godwin got rocked and wrecked.
Oh yeah, that's when he hurt his knee. I think Malcolm Jenkins.
He did, and Brady ran over and
Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen. Ugh. Well, that's Psycho Tom.
If this is it, he's had the most unbelievable career for a tight end, and there's no arguing. That's not up for debate. Yeah, somebody might have more catches, someone has more yards, and someone has more touchdowns. But when you combine all those catches, yards, touchdowns, you combine what he did in the regular season versus what he did in the postseason, and you look at, I don't want to hear nothing about Tom Brady, because a lot of guys have had Hall of Fame quarterbacks throwing to him. Hell, I had one, and Antonio Gates is going to have one. Gonzalez had a lot of good quarterbacks, but I don't know if he's going to have any. We'll see what happens with Matt Ryan down the road. But this kid was special, and it was a joy to watch him play. Like I said, if it's over, unbelievable career.
Okay. My gut feeling, and maybe it's wishful thinking on my part, is that he will play again. He did retire once back in 2019 and came back. Gut feeling, yes, but you make a compelling case in these two lists that I...
Yeah, his body's not like Tom's.
No. Compelling case, it's just time.
Yeah.
To be over.
Skip, I don't believe he would have retired the first time had he been somewhere else. I believe he retired. He was mentally fatigued, mentally and physically burnt out of New England and Coach Belichick.
Yeah, the Patriot way.
That's why after a year, he's like, if y'all let me go, I'll go somewhere else. I just can't come back here.
He was also special in that I don't think any player could have loosened up the Patriot way like Gronk did.
No.
He got away with a lot because he backed it up.
Yes.
Whew.
If it's for real, guys, that's the key word. But the tributes certainly are pouring in on social media for Gronk. Fun to take a trip down memory lane and look at all of those. All right, guys, we've got the NBA draft coming up tomorrow night. Who should the Magic take with the #1 overall pick? Skip and Shannon break that down when Undisputed returns.
Saturday, it's baseball night in America on Fox. Freeman and the Dodgers battle Acuna Jr. and the Braves, or the Rockies face the Twins. It's baseball night in America, Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox.
It's the USFL Playoff Semifinal Saturday. First on Fox, it stars